All right, he's here. He's here.
This is my friend Gary. He's the level 100 king of all Pokemon, legendary collector, here to authenticate this crazy transaction. This is my new friend Michael. He came from California to see a bunch of strangers he's never met before to deliver the ultimate set of Pokemon. These are all my other friends. Breck Knudsen, who also loves Pokemon, he's a collector too. Here with Irvin the camera guy, this is the mystery man, and this is my friend Dylan. He knows nothing about Pokemon, but he's about to learn how awesome it is. These are my parents, Vlad and Maria, the Jikachus, power level over 9,000, the legendary of legendaries. This is not a Pokemon channel, but this is a channel about investing. Also, this is not an investment. This is a speculative bet that I made thinking that tomorrow, these pieces of paper will be worth more than they are today. But will they really be? Nobody knows. I think they will. The Pokemon franchise has grown to be the highest grossing franchise of all time, beating out brands like Hello Kitty, Mickey Mouse, Harry Potter, and even Star Wars. Pokemon is worth close to $100 billion, so in today's video, I'm gonna spend an ungodly amount of money for pieces of paper, and I hope it takes you back to your childhood like it does to me. Michael, walk us through it.
Thank you for having me. Wow, we've got something pretty special here today. Over the course of the last 3 years, I've completed a PSA 10 Shadowless base set Pokemon collection. I think this is probably one of the rarest collections in the Pokemon hobby, and yeah, it's a real privilege to be able to share my collection journey with you now.
First, before we open this, tell us how rare this is. How many sets are there in the entire world?
When it comes to Pokemon and base set, there's actually 3 different versions. During the same time of production, they came up with a Shadowless variant as well, which they released without the first edition stamp, same classic artwork, and then the unlimited version. Now, when it comes to graded PSA Pokemon cards, the Shadowless variant by far is the lowest population across the board. Certain grades, like a PSA 10 for example, the Shadowless is about 3 times rarer than the first edition version per card. So for example, the Shadowless 10 PSA Chansey is a pop 15 card. So that means theoretically there can only be 15 sets to this date. Wow. Somewhere floating in the world. I think that it's probably closer to like 10 or 11 complete sets in the entire world.
The first edition was collected some, back then. People collected the first edition, but as soon as the unlimited hit, they got them and people opened them to play with in that because they didn't realize that there was going to be a new artwork set,
right,
unlimited, coming out. They thought that was the unlimited set. And so they were nothing special because they weren't first edition.
So Shadowless is technically more rare than first editions.
Absolutely, and especially in these conditions. Rarity-wise, it's not even close.
Let's crack it open.
Oh, I think you're gonna crack it open.
All right.
Flip the switch, go ahead and press the button.
Press the buttons. This is so high tech. Oh my gosh. Hollows on the left. We have here a Shadowless PSA 10 Alakazam. Oh my gosh. Check this out.
This particular set is one of the cleanest sets in existence. Like, yes, PSA 10s are gem mint. There are some that are stronger than others.
Blastoise, and I have a very special history with this card because Blastoise is the first 3 that I've ever pulled. Well, how much is this card approximately?
I can tell you the ones that have sold in the range from $10,000 to $15,000 just for that one card.
I was considering trading a Blastoise and a Moltres for a Charizard. My mom's like, no, don't do it. So I kept it. My mom was my negotiator. Oh my gosh.
And this is the rare one.
The Chansey, only 15 in the world. This is what she looks like.
The egg.
The egg.
It's a pretty amazing card, and I got word that there was this Shadowless 10 Chansey available, and I didn't care what the asking price was. I made contact with the owner. That weekend, I literally got on a plane and flew to Austin, Texas, to meet the owner in the airport to buy it.
No way.
And yeah, pretty special.
How much was the Chansey?
When an opportunity comes up, and you cannot miss the opportunity, there was no negotiation. I said
After
yes.
3 years of looking.
Yeah, and bothering Gary every couple months to buy one of his extras.
Or did I hear of anybody else who had one, please?
And literally scouring the world.
Right.
The ask price was $25,000 for that Shadowless Chansey.
Wow. I'm seeing one on eBay today for $50,000.
And that's reasonable, I think.
Yep.
I mean, there's 15 in the world. How are you going to build a set without
You
it?
can't just grade one. That's the thing. You could buy boxes of Shadowless.
1,000 of them.
My
You
mom's
wanna get
like,
a
where
10.
is this going? 50,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're adding up in your head, right? How much? Let's see, 15,000 plus.
But-
how much
okay.
is this?
That price point, though, is very similar to the first edition PSA 10.
Right, I've seen that.
So the fact that around the same time I purchased that one for 25, where the rarity of that Shadowless version, I mean, it's pop 15 versus pop 45-ish.
I would not doubt at all that this Chansey was
You could've
graded
graded
by
it.
me
It very well could have been.
years ago.
Well, it's a wonderful card, Gary, so I don't know why you gave it up.
Yeah, I know. What a mistake that was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
special.
skip this next card for last.
It's a pretty big card. Yeah, okay.
All right, we got the Clefairy. I remember her.
Number 5.
Wow.
So,
Number 5.
Gary, what's the story with Clefairy? Clefairy is actually a pretty special card. Wasn't it not the face of Pokemon in some of the early...
Yes, because of how cute that character is, that was going to be the first Pikachu. You know, that was going to be Pikachu.
This
Right.
next one, my friend Graham Stephan pulled from one of Logan Paul's packs, and this one's a legend. This is Gyarados.
That's a personal fave as well. Definitely a
That's
cool card.
so cool.
In the early release, there's a Gyarados, a Hitmonchan, Mewtwo, and Ninetales that were released as part of the theme decks for the actual trading card game. And these were extremely playable, very powerful cards. A lot of the people that opened those theme decks obviously played, the TCG game with them. If you were to actually handle any of these cards in person out of the pack and you place it on any type of hard surface, that card will no longer get a PSA 10. It will sustain some type of nick around the edge or a hollow scratch. This is a personal fave card of mine. Hitmonchan is an amazing
A
card.
difficult one to grade.
Extremely difficult to grade. Out of all the theme deck cards, the Hitmonchan, because of that large proportion of the card that's hollow foil, there's only 40 PSA 10s of the Hitmonchan.
You see that?
And there were thousands of Shadowless theme decks released to the world.
Right.
And we're sitting at a population of just 40 for the PSA 10.
This card is actually Steve's favorite. He loves Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan.
Oh,
and that's because of Jackie Chan
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Bruce Lee
Bruce Lee.
are two of his heroes.
Wow.
And so Hitmonchan, Jackie Chan. This is one of his favorites.
That's so cool. This is actually a very special card because always came with a first edition stamp.
That's correct. It's the only holo where every single one produced from the factory had the first edition stamp.
Yes, there was a trainer deck, Hitmonchan, that was a non-holo without the first edition stamp, but it wasn't holo. Plus, these were never inside of booster packs. You could not pull this out of a pack. You had to pull it out of a starter. There were two different stamps. There was a thick stamp and a thin stamp. I'm positive the thick stamps are the rarest.
I agree as well.
This is a
from my
thick.
experience.
This is a thick stamp. I know because I probably had about 100 Machamps at one time, and like 10 were thicks. That's why I'm sure of that. Not PSA 10.
We love me some thick boys. Some thick
Right.
stamps.
Well, that's the thick. So this is also the rarest of the Shadowless Machamp.
The exact population of the Shadowless variant in a PSA 10, it's unknown. Like I said, PSA is just starting to build that portion of the population report now. There's only currently 5 that are distinguished as
Incredible.
Shadowless.
Everybody's least favorite card, unfortunately, is the Magneton.
But not an how many of those are there?
Population for the Magneton is sitting at about 50 right now.
Okay.
That's not that many. Well, here's a really iconic card right here.
This is a Gary card. I purchased this one from Gary, so this is special for you to now own.
Can I
for
have
sure.
it back?
No. That is the Mewtwo.
I remember you.
Yep.
I remember
You do.
As a kid, that to me was the most powerful Pokemon. I
It
don't
was.
know if
Yes.
that is a
Yes.
factor, but and it's translated to its collectability massively.
Next one, Nidoking. Ooh, not like everybody's favorite,
Right.
but still really cool.
So, quick little story with this particular card. Well, the person who owned this actually acquired it as compensation for work that he was getting done on his house or something like that. So someone just basically
Bartered.
didn't have money and gave him the Shadowless 10 Nidoking, of which I bought. And it's a phenomenal copy.
The IRS has entered the chat. It's like bartering.
Yeah.
Ninetales. Here we
Ninetales.
go.
Yep.
That's a beauty. Look at that.
Stunning card. I actually think the Ninetales Hollow is one of the stunning ones. I mean, it's got the
That's
depth
so pretty,
perception to
yeah.
it. And again, this is a theme deck card where it could be pulled in a pack or available in the theme decks. But again, its population's super low. I think right now the Ninetales PSA 10 Shadowless population is sitting at about 45.
45.
Yeah.
And we got the Poliwrath.
Poliwrath, I don't know, this is not a very popular card, even though I think it's actually, like, it's a water Pokemon, it's blue, I think it's awesome. Here's a funny story. The population on that card, it's sitting around 42 right now. I managed to collect 16 out of the 42 Shadowless 10s.
You almost cornered the market.
So this is another Gary card here.
Ooh, Gary card.
Another special one.
Raichu.
Pikachu's older brother. Very low population. This is a pop 25 in PSA 10.
Jeez.
Andre, I'd say that your dad is the Raichu and you're the Pikachu.
Thank you.
Because you look so much like him.
I'll take it.
I'll take that.
Everybody loves Pikachu.
That's right. I'll be Pikachu.
And this is over a decade ago. I owned this and graded it.
So Gary, the first time I met you, actually, this was to buy this Raichu.
This one, huh?
Yep.
Is that right?
About 3 years ago or so.
Okay.
Next up is a big 3 card.
This is a big one, yeah.
This is the Venusaur. And I know, Gary, that's your favorite.
It is. Venusaur is my favorite Pokemon. No question.
Wow, that's because you like the nose.
I love the nose. It has that kind of like with a pug dog, you just want to grab their face and shake it.
It's a box.
With
I mean,
Venusaur, you
it
just want to grab his nose and
Can't go wrong.
That's amazing. These are so flawless. Like, I've never seen edges that were so perfect.
But also remember, if Mike had like 3 of these or something, he would get rid of the 2 lesser quality ones and keep the best quality.
Is that right?
This is a phenomenal.
This is
set.
the best he's owned.
Yes.
What?
So-
I loved this card as a kid, and I never really owned it, but this is
But
Zapdos.
you do now.
But I do
So
now.
this one was pulled by a Pokemon YouTuber called Pokemon Revolution.
Pokerev.
Pokerev.
Yeah.
Yes. I was lucky enough to be able to get the Zapdos from him.
I pulled the Zapdos too,
You
actually.
did. You pulled a Zapdos. That's right.
Okay, now what's missing up in the corner over there?
So this is the Holy Grail, the most expensive. What was the prices that you guys have kind of seen it go for? And I know, Gary, you've bought a few.
If you can get them for under $100,000, you're doing good. I hate to say how much I've spent because my wife's going to see this.
Oh, my hands are like shaking.
So this is a spectacular version. It's incredibly well centered. It's a newer cert. It's a 400 cert, graded, I would say late 2018 or so. At the time, I could tell that the market was starting to heat up, and I made, at the time, it was an offer that was 150% of what the last sold price was.
Jeez.
Like,
Gary's like, "Let me have it."
contingency was I had to replace this PSA 10 with a PSA 9 version, as well as obviously the cash on top of that.
Wow.
So I drove all the way up to Northern California, and I meant like real Northern California, like way above the Bay Area. It was actually a small town called Eureka. I met this guy at his local bank, and this guy, I mean, he's an older gentleman, been collecting sports cards and Pokemon cards for years. Started off with his kids, but he actually ended up just continuing collecting really high-end sports cards, but as well as high-end Pokemon cards. Hey, he was showing around this Charizard card to all the tellers at the bank. We met at a bank just for security reasons. Everyone at the bank recognized that card and just how special that is. The PSA 10 Shadowless Charizard currently sits at a population of 55. But it's the most graded Shadowless Hollow variant, right? Because everyone that owns a Charizard, whether it's first edition, unlimited, or Shadowless, at this point in time in history, you need to get that card graded.
Right.
You know, it's an asset at this point.
Go ahead,
Yes,
cap it,
yes,
Gary.
it is.
So that card alone was 100,000 if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. If you can find, especially a really good quality one like that. Oh, pretty special.
Oh my gosh. This is so cool. Jeez. My childhood's complete. I don't think I'll ever want anything ever again. Mom, this is what we chased after.
I remember that.
Remember? I'm not even kidding you. When I saw your Instagram, I looked at it for I think like 3 hours a day. Just this whole page.
Right.
And I think I will look at the Charizard just like your kids were, just in bed, just looking
Yes.
at it for hours.
You know what? I always admitted to my kids, going to sleep at night with the cards in their hand and staring at them. I never did admit that I was doing the same thing. So if you do that, that's totally understandable.
Gary, unfortunately, you've never owned this one, but I know
No,
you own
I
special
never did,
ones.
and this is an absolute beauty. This might be the best.
But you know what's crazy about this card in particular? The first 3 digits of the grade is 420.
Right.
Here.
Yeah,
That is
420.
That is the most memeable number ever.
You know what it is? It's like the closest thing to being able to rewind time.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So here's how much it cost. Everything? No, the original listing price on eBay was $220,000. Michael and I came to an agreement, and I think everyone's really happy. He even included the other 87 cards to complete the full Shadowless 103 base set Gem Mint 10 flawless collection, and I could not be happier. And I realize it is a ton of money. But like my friend Brett says, it is the closest thing we have to a time machine back to our childhood. And it doesn't matter how much it costs me because the memories are priceless, and Pokemon always brings everyone together. And I hope that's why you're here too. So while you're here, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel so I could take one step closer to catching you all and becoming a Pokemon master. As always, don't forget to have a great rest of your day. Love you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll be back here on Monday, Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. Go get the free stocks. Go get up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin. You know what to do. Love you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.